Hello everyone, my name is Cheryl, and in this segment we are going to begin the pattern for the folded hot pad. Now the pattern calls for chaining 33 stitches, which I've just done. The next step is to single crochet into the second chain from hook. So here's the loop that's on my hook. We're not going to count this. This is going to be the first chain from the hook. This is the second chain from the hook. So you can see these chains are all V's. This is the first V for the first chain. This is the second chain. I'm going to stick my hook right into that second chain. I'm going to yarn over, pull the loop through, yarn over, and pull through two. So I'm going to do that all the way down to the end of this set of chain stitches, going through the top of each chain, doing a yarn over, and pull through. So I'm putting my hook in the top of the chain stitch, yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through two. So again, my hook goes in the top of that chain, yarn over and pull through. Hook into the chain, yarn over, pull a loop through, yarn over, pull through two. And I'm going to do that all the way to the end of my chain. Now I've gotten to the last chain, and I'm going to do the same thing in this last chain. I put my hook through, yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through two. So now what I have is a row of single crochets, one in each of the chain stitches that I made. Now I'm going to turn my work 180 degrees so that what I'm seeing is that bottom of the chain stitches that I originally made. Now I'm going to go into the bottom of each one of these and do another single crochet. So here's the bottom of my first stitch. I'm going to go into it. At this point, I'm going under 2 strands of yarn here. This is the bottom of the chain stitch, and I'm going to go under both loops from the bottom. We yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and I am going to do that in the bottom of each of these chain stitches. So you can see if I flip this over, the bottom of these chain stitches, and that is where here, so you can see there is the bottom V of that chain stitch, and that's where I'm going to put my needle, and I'm going to go through and do a single crochet into each one of these. You can see here, this is the single crochet from the last row. So I'm going to put my needle right in the base of that. Yarn over, bring through a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. And so I'm going to do this all the way back to where I started, which is right there. So I have done my single crochet all the way along the bottom of that crochet chain, and I'm coming to the last stitch on the side. So I'm going to do a single crochet in that last stitch, and now the next stitch that I'm going to see is the first single crochet of that, or first row of single crochets that I did. And the top of that single crochet is this V. So I'm going to do another single crochet now on top of the round I did previously. And I am going to continue putting a single crochet in each one of these stitches all the way around. So here's the top of my single crochet. I'm going to put my hook through both legs of that V, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through two. The next single crochet is right here. I put my hook underneath, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through two. And I am going to continue this all the way around. So I'm going to do a single crochet in each one of these stitches. I'm going to turn the corner and continue to do a single crochet. So it's going to be these sort of elongated rounds that I'm just going to go around and around and around, doing single crochets in each one of these stitches. And I'm going to continue to do that and build up the sides of my hot pad. So I have been crocheting around, putting a single crochet in each stitch. And as you can see, it's starting to form like a little canoe. It's the sides are starting to build. It's folding around on the ends. I've done about 4 rounds at this point. We have to keep going, but I wanted to show you what it was going to look like after about 4 rounds. Now we want to keep going until it gets to look like this. So here we are. That's the way it looks on the bottom. And just keep going around and around and around, putting a single crochet in each single crochet you see. You'll know when you're finished when you fold it. I'm going to pull out the edges, create corners on either side. And when these two walls that I've been crocheting meet in the middle, you know you're done. So at this point, I'm pretty happy that these are going to close up. The two ends are going to meet. So let me show you how I folded that again. When you're knitting around, crocheting around, you're crocheting, 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 crocheting. And every once in a while, you need to stop to check to see whether you're finished with your single crochet yet. And the way to do that is to find these two ends, find those sides, and push them in. So now these corners get to be formed. They were these corners before. You push the sides in, and they get to be corners of your hot pad. Now at this point, I want to be able to have a hanging loop, and I want the hanging loop to be here. So I am going to take a stitch marker, and I'm going to put it right on the corner, on a stitch on the corner, so I know where I want to stop and create my hanging loop. So I'm going to go back now. This is where I had stopped doing my single crochet. Now I'm going to single crochet from here to the marker. So I'm just going to continue doing what I was doing my single crochet until I get to the marker. And when I get to the marker, I am going to create a chain so that I can hang my hot pad. Now, if you don't want a loop there to hang your hot pad, then when you get to the marker, just stop. But I am going to want my loop, my hanging loop there. So I'm going to, there's the stitch in my, with where my marker is. So I'm going to do one more single crochet, and now I'm going to chain. I'm going to chain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now you can chain as many as you want. So I've made my chain stitches to use as a hanging loop for my hot pad. Now I am going to take my hook and put it into the base of these chain stitches, which is right here. Put my loop through, my hook through yarn over, pull through, and then pull this loop through the one that was on my hook. Now I'm going to cut my yarn, leaving about 24 inches so that I can use this to sew the seam. So I've cut my yarn, and I'm going to pull the loop out that's on my hook so that I'm pulling the end of the yarn through that last stitch to secure it. Now, here's my hot pad with a loop at the end, and I am ready to start seaming this edge. To do that, we're going to do something called a whip stitch. I'm going to thread a tapestry needle, and then starting at this point, I'm going to go put my needle through the outer edge of one stitch on this side and do the same thing on the other side. And pull the yarn through. My loop in the right spot there. So what I'm going to continue to do is to go through the outer edge of this stitch and the outer edge of this stitch. And pull a yarn through. I'm going to go to the next stitch, outer edge of this one, outer edge of this one, and pull the yarn through. And I'm going to continue doing that all the way, oops, got that in the wrong spot, to the end. Outer edge of the next stitch, one on the other side, and I am going to continue doing that until I get to the other end. Then I'll weave in my ends, and my hot pad will be finished. So again, I'm going through the outside edge of the stitch nearest to me, the outside edge of the stitch on the other side of the seam, and I'm just continuing to do that, just matching those stitches up all the way.